morning, boys and girls. This is Thursday, April 30th, and in today's video, today for math, you're actually going to be doing something a little bit different that you guys haven't done. You did it at school a lot of times, but then you haven't practiced it since then because we haven't put it in the lesson plans, and we did last week, but sometimes some things are really easy to forget if we don't practice them, and we didn't practice them that much before. So today's video is just going to be about practicing the math, okay? So I'm not going to do a read aloud today, we're just going to practice the math. So in math it says, how many different ways can you represent the number 115? Okay, so your number is going to be 115, so we're not going to do that number. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the number 118. And then you guys can follow the steps to do 115. Okay, so here's 118. And the question was, how many different ways can you represent 118? Okay, so usually if you were in class, you guys would all start giving me answers. And then once a couple people gave me some answers, it would make some of the rest of you start coming up with more ideas. And we'd get more and more ideas. And we'd fill up this whole thing before we even knew it. And I'm so sad that we can't do that. So I'm just going to try and guess what would happen in class. Okay, so somebody might say, oh, it's 100, 110, and 8 ones, because we know that this is the ones place, this is the tens place, and this is the hundreds place. So they would write 100, 110, and 8 ones. Okay, just like that. So we could do that. Or what are some other ways that we wrote numbers? And somebody would say base 10, base 10. And I'd say, okay, so how do you want to do that base 10? And you could just do it the same way that we wrote up here. 100, 110, and 8 ones. But remember, our 100 is a square. So our 100 is going to look like that. Our 110, remember our 10s are just rods, so it's going to look like this. And then our 8 ones are just dots. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 2 ways that we could represent 118. So there's other ways that we could break up that number. Like we could say, how many tens are in this 100? Okay, so if you were to have the base 10 and you were to count, remember, because the base 10 blocks in class, they're broken up into 100 squares and they have all these lines in them. And if you were to count all of the lines of all of the 10 rods, you would have 10 of them. So there's 10 tens inside of 100. Okay, so we're going to replace this 100 with 10 tens. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just to check our work, I'm going to go ahead and count to make sure that that's actually 100. Okay, so I'm going to count by tens because we know that these represent 10. And we'll say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that is 100. So then if we have 100, then we still need one more 10, right? So we still need one more 10 after that. So we already did 10 tens, but that only made up 100. So we need an extra 10 after that. So say, okay, so I'll put that extra 10 right here. Okay, and then what do we need? 8 ones, right? 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now let's count how many tens and how many ones we used. Okay, so we used how many tens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tens. Okay, so I'm going to write 11 tens. And how many ones? We still have 8 ones and 8 ones. So already I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to show 118. Okay, And so now maybe we could think about putting it in numbers, doing expanded form. So let's look at what this would be in expanded form. So if we have 100, then we'll just write 100. Okay? Plus 110 would be what? Would be 10. Plus 8. And what would all of that equal? 100 plus 10 plus 8 would all come back to equal 118. Okay, so then if we did that down here for this one, where we had 11 tens, now what are 11 tens? We have to count by 10 11 times, okay? So let's just count these by tens. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. So I'll write 110 plus, and then we just have one more place value here, and it's the ones, and there's 8. So we'll just write 8. Plus 8 equals 110 plus 8 equals what? 118. Okay. And then what we could do is we could say, well, what if we just did 100 and then we didn't have any tens and we did the rest in ones? So if we did 100, how many ones would we need to make 118? Okay, so how many times would you need to count to get to 118 after you have 100? 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. If you kept going, it would be 18 ones, okay? So then you could just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. See? So that's my 110, I'm sorry, my 100 and my 18 ones, okay? So if I were to write that in numbers, I would write 100 plus 18 equals 118. See? 100 plus 18 equals 118. And then if I were to do the place value steps for that, I would say that I have 100. So I'd write 100. Do I have any tens in this one? No, so I wouldn't write any tens. And then I would write, how many ones do I have? I have 18 ones. Okay, and there's lots and lots of different ways you could break that out. You could trade one of these tens for 10 ones. You could break up the 100. There's tons of different ways, and you don't have to show me all the ways, okay? Just think of as many ways as you can, but you don't have to show me every single way, because I promise you that with this number and with 115, there's probably about 95 different ways to show it, and you don't need to show me 95 different ways, okay? Just show me as many as you can. I would say probably a minimum of 3. Show me at least 3. If you show me more than that, awesome. So that is how we're going to represent 115. See, I did 118 here as an example, but you're going to do 118 and decompose that number in as many ways as you can. Okay, so that is what today's video is about. I will go ahead right now and take a picture of my whiteboard and put it on Dojo, so that way you guys can look at that to use as an example as well. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.